This is Carrie Tucker, the Life Breath Coach on HeartFailureSolutions.com. Low oxygen levels. How low is too low, and should you worry? There's a lot of important information here. I'm going to read through it quickly to make sure you get this. Low oxygen levels will rob you of your eyesight, short-term memory, and your energy. Eventually, low oxygen levels will weaken your heart muscle. Heart failure is progressive weakening of your heart muscle. The world is facing an epidemic of heart failure. This one health crisis will rob more productive work years from Americans than any other. Lose a couple decades worth of predicted income, see what that does to your bottom line. Low oxygen levels may precede a heart failure diagnosis, but if you are experiencing low oxygen levels, you can count on developing heart failure because low blood oxygen saturation levels cause heart failure. That may be hard for you to swallow, but denial won't save you. I had a patient a few years back. I'll call her Jane. Jane had a hard time paying attention to me when I came by for our routine visits. She was always very interested in the television. Each time I saw her, I'd tell Jane that her low oxygen levels were harmful. I'd point her in a mirror, I'd show her her blue lips. While Jane was sitting, the oximeter read 85 to 88. Always dropped to the 70s whenever she'd move. Jane refused to be alarmed about it. Her doctor told her to use it when she needed it, and as Jane said, she didn't need it. Jane was often angry when she'd say to me, "I walk a mile every morning. What makes you think I need oxygen?" I'd launch into a thorough explanation of why low blood oxygen level is harmful, and she'd glaze over and turn her attention back to the television. I tried to get Jane's doctor involved in the discussion to see if we could talk Jane into complying, but her doctor said I was overreacting, so my efforts were a bust. Jane almost never used her supplemental home oxygen. I'm sure Jane felt like she walked a mile every morning. Her neighbor Sally said that Jane looked terrible after a short lap around the block. Sally was very sad to find Jane's lifeless body on her front lawn early one morning. When I spoke with Sally several weeks after Jane's death, I realized Sally's the one I should have conspired with. She saw Jane pretty much every day, and she had been alarmed at her terrible color and obvious confusion. Sally didn't know how to help her friend. She didn't know what Jane needed most. Jane needed an advocate that would remind her to utilize supplemental oxygen until her brain was functioning well enough for her to remember to use it herself. Sally would have been glad to be Jane's advocate. Of course, we would have had to convince Jane first. That might have been easier said than done, but both Sally and I wished we had teamed up before it was too late. Convincing Jane how low is too low might have saved her life. So how low is too low? Every time your blood oxygen level falls below 92% saturation, your body suffers drastic consequences and you risk sudden death. Low oxygen levels are definitely something to worry about. If you think there is any possibility that you could be experiencing low oxygen levels, be sure to insist that your doctor check your pulse oximetry readings. You've got to insist that any reading below 92% blood oxygen saturation be treated with supplemental oxygen. Hey, get up and move. You're not likely to see the oxygen deficit while you're seated comfortably. Test yourself while you're walking, and if your symptoms are significant, suspect low oxygen levels while you are sleeping. Do you notice any of the worrisome symptoms of low oxygen level? Shortness of breath, maybe after climbing stairs, any difficulty breathing at all. Extreme fatigue, maybe in the afternoon or evening. Chest tightness, mental confusion, tingling fingers, water retention, especially around your feet and ankles, but perhaps your belly. Chronic cough, dry or moist. Are you unable to sleep while you lie flat? Maybe you wake up in the middle of the night, gasping for breath. If you are experiencing oxygen saturation below 92% blood oxygen by oximetry, use supplemental oxygen to prevent these dangerous episodes. What can you do right now? Use oxygen 24/7 to prevent low levels. Learn what depletes oxygen and take action to address all possible issues. Educate yourself about how your breathing is making you sick and what you can do about it. Your low blood oxygen issue may never completely resolve, but meeting your oxygen needs will allow you to enjoy your life and stop the rapid deterioration caused by low oxygen levels. Completely healing from low oxygen level is possible. Many of my clients have done it. Refer to the text in this post. You'll find a free offer for a membership to the Life Breath Club and a 6-part mini course on oxygen and its importance. You'll also find the textbook and the live coaching offer that helped Chris Downs heal completely. Refer to the text on this page for those awesome opportunities. Take action on your behalf. You are worth it. Invest in your health.